Welcome back, welcome back. Music check. Cody's always here first. Welcome Tom, welcome to the Zooms. How's everyone doing? Maui's here, nice. Can you guys hear me? Tom, Kurt, Kasim, Keel? Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm doing good. Took the trade with Don today. We were expecting a bottom wick, not a TP tap, but tap TP. That's why you have TP, guys, right? Worked out pretty well. I'll go through what happened today, but I wasn't on the charts. I wasn't trading myself. I was at work in office today, so I couldn't really do anything. But it's all right. Back on the charts tomorrow. See what we can catch, right? Yeah, we're just going to be starting in a couple minutes here, guys. 10:30, right? It's always 10:30. Oh, Jacob's here as well. Sup. Trade posture phase 1. Kasim, what funded are you trading? Which funded company are you with at the moment? Did you also catch the trade on his stream, or did you was it like a signals thing for you? On stream, nice. Yeah, congrats, man. We have a couple new people on our way. Just gonna wait another 2 minutes. We've got a couple new people joining today as well. Yeah, on stream. Forex funds. Yeah, I mean, I need to get a better overall knowledge of all the different funded companies, but I feel like they're all okay, like the top ones at least. I'm with Alpha Capital Group, I think. So we have less people today. We have 10 people, but it's probably enough to get started, to be honest. Because I guess some people are on Zoom now, so that kind of reduces the amount of people. Oh yeah, that's fine, Maui, honestly. Yeah, you posture funded. I think quite a few people funded, passed, right? I don't know if, did you posture funded because you overtraded? Did you, what did you do, right? But if it was 1 to 2% and you were very close and you passed it after that, congrats, massive congrats, right? Cool, guys, I'm gonna get started. So welcome everyone to another day of the analysis, right? Right, let me just, cool. Right, so this was our analysis yesterday. What happened? Did the things that we kind of saw play out? This was what, Wednesday 25th. This, I guess, when you started pushing up, you faked out below. I probably would have looked for a sell below here if it flipped, but it didn't. Faked out, so no more sells below here. Then looking for buys above, but you kind of wicked up too quickly, filled the range. So probably no positions, to be honest. That's alright. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. Cool. Yeah, so let's just go to the monthly, right? Monthly, we've pushed up a little bit more this month, so I'm not too sure where the monthly is going to close, but if it does close within this range, that's fine. If it breaks out of the range, even better, right? Then we have direction, then we just need potentially a little bit more volume for us to push above and all the way back up. But cool, so we're still in the range for the monthly. Nothing really happened, right? So still, you've made a decision here, you've made a decision here, you're in the range, you haven't broken out. Once you break out on a closure, that's a monthly closure, once you get that, cool, we look for those retests of these highs at 1970, 1980, right? Sorry, 2060, 2080 sorts of levels. If it starts coming back down, right, we'll look for potential entries on wicks, because, you know, we're very bullish now, right? You had no bottom wick for this candle, you went straight up, so this is likely to be, you know, a fake out or a liquidity grab below these sorts of levels. You came down and tapped the next resistance, right? Next range down, filled it, came back up, you're faking out, right? Once you fake out, if you are still in this range, you might see it continue to range like this, but there's a high chance you'll get a breakout. Maybe you'll grab some liquidity and then you start going up, right? So that's what we're looking for. In terms of the monthly, it's going to take a while to happen, but that's just what the monthly is currently printing. The weekly, we're about to flip, right? We flipped a little bit actually. We flipped, and now we're going to close here. So if you just kind of look at the daily candle, it'll make a lot of sense, right? Daily's closing bullish respecting still, but you've come down, bottom wick at 54, which we analyzed on Monday, right? We said, yes, we're 100% going to tap 54. When that's going to happen, I'm not sure, but it tapped the next day, right? Now that you've tapped 54, you have, you know, you've filled this range. So now you're just in a range between 54, or probably, yeah, 54, which is down around here, 53, 54 sorts of areas, and 1992. Or I would say probably the top of the range is still here for now. So 1970, 79, 80 sorts of levels, right? This is your daily range. Weekly, you're about to flip. You flipped a little bit, but you just need a little bit of pullback. The daily is probably going to look to retest the highs after grabbing this liquidity. If not, it's going to just range here, right? Range here, and then find some, you know, breakout above or below, and then it'll kind of start driving a little bit more. But currently, I would say with the daily close, we haven't got any higher time frame direction yet, right? Why? Because you've closed, you've filled this range, you've come up, you've filled the range, but you're respecting, right? Every time you're respecting, you're just kind of doing things like this, right? Once you get a breakout, you have direction, but once you're in this range, you're just in this range for a couple days, right? So for this, in this case, you came up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 days you were in this range. This time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days you came back up 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say this is a fake out, so 5, 6, 7, 8. Another fake out. Like, you spend time in these ranges. So at any given point, expect this to happen for the next couple of days, right? Obviously, if we get a breakout, we'll get direction. We'll jump onto the kind of the buys or the sells. But just understand that this is very likely to happen because we're currently in this range. Cool. Let's jump to the 4 hour. Let's see what's happening. I want to mark up my 4 hour ranges first. So 4 hour has something, let's say, around these sorts of areas that I'm pretty happy with. Your next range up is probably somewhere, I would say, around here, which is fine. And then your next range above is really like all the way up to here on the 4 hour at least. towards these sorts of areas, I would say. Cool. And then what's the next range down? Because your 4-hour time frame is going to have smaller ranges, right? So I'm going to put it here, maybe above here for now. I think this could have been a fake out actually, so might be slightly lower. Let's have a look on the 1 hour to see. Yeah, once I get these going for you guys, we'll have a better understanding of what the actual range is, and we can have a look for positions. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And this level is exactly where I want it to be, basically. Just slightly lower. Get rid of this. Maybe ever so slightly lower. Cool. Around here. Cool, yeah. Okay, so these are my key levels, right? Tap 90.53.4. Alright, this is exactly where we expected price to tap, right? I didn't even look at the candle here yet. I know we tapped 54, but this is just a level. Every time you close below, this 4-hour close below, filled the range, right? Came back up, right? And then you had a breakout above, essentially. This is a breakout above, right? You filled the range already. You were in this range on the 5, and then you came back up, filled it, right? This next day basically didn't do much. You ranged until like 2 p.m. today. And then 2 p.m. you had a breakout above with the top wick, right, on the hourly. Came down, you grabbed liquidity here. So these could have been potential buys, right? I would have said it's difficult to take the buys at this level exactly because I didn't know it was going to tap this level, but I would have potentially looked for entries once it started breaking these lows. But also, if you understand that overall price action, right, you're still very bearish. Your previous 4-hourly before this happened closed respecting this overall range, I would say here, 1977. Right, around here. Your hourly before this happened, right, had no bottom wick, but your previous hourly was closing respecting, right? Respecting this even, right? So at any given point, price could just flip. And that's what we're looking for, right? I think we looked for some liquidity to be grabbed, but understanding that if this is pushing up, there's a high chance we're just going to continue driving up because overall bias for the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and to some extent the 4-hour is very bullish, right? So we couldn't take the wick entry there, right? What we're looking for instead is actually, not the 5. What we're looking for is sells, right? Because we're understanding that this, as it's coming down, we're looking for the flip of these candles, right? And then I think we got in on the 30 close. Like here, I think we got in like literally as this was kind of creating, or just on the flip, basically. We could have looked for a top wick, but there was a high chance that this would have just drive down, right? Every time you close below, I would say like close back into these ranges here, you just got to drive down to these levels, and then once you break past this level, you just drove down. So you see this, right? You broke on the 30, drove down, filled the range at least to here, right? So I'd say your TP was probably around here. I don't know where we set our TP. I think 1968, right? Which is exactly this level, basically. But once this grabbed liquidity, you don't know if this is going to continue pushing down, right? At some point, this candle was very, very bearish, right? So at some point, this candle looked like this, right? So is that just, are we just going to continue driving down? And was this push here a liquidity grab, right? There's a high chance this was. If this was, and this continued to push down on a closure below 67, you would have probably seen a massive drive down, right? You would have probably saw a top wick and then drive, right? And then I don't even know where you would have gone, but you didn't. You respected, and because you respected here, right, on these sorts of levels, on the 30, got a little bit of like a celery above going up, you break out, going up. I couldn't take the buys here because you didn't have a bottom wick, right? If this came down first, would have gotten to buys to go up, right? But after this created this, I couldn't look for any buys. After it came down though, I was looking for sells, and then I think we got into sells, tap TP. But then after that, I'm expecting this to be bullish. Like, you've grabbed so much liquidity, you've then exited the range, right? This range, you're now in this range above 75, or I would say almost above like 79 on the hourly, because it's looking like you got a fake out, right? So at any given point, this candle is going to close like this, and then you might get a bottom wick, and then you might fill this range. It's high chance that you're going to fill the range, right? Not all the way up to 83, I would say, but your next range up is probably towards these sorts of areas at 82.3. So yeah, there's a high chance if, you know, during Asian you come down first, create that bottom wick, and then start flipping up within this next 30-minute candle when price opens, I would say, then there is a high chance you'll look to fill the range towards 82, which is like 30 pips, like 20, 25, 30 pips. It's not bad. Because I'm understanding that this liquidity grab is massive, right? Once we got this, we're still in this range. Any given time, once this pushes out of the range, it's not going to come back and retest. It's just going to go straight up. So, in terms of buys and sells, let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm not expecting price to come down. If it comes down to grab what we think is liquidity, there's a high chance it's actually just going to come back down. How the 4-hour closed, or how it will close, is closing bullish. I would say overall, I don't know where this is actually. Let's have a look. So 80. So you're probably closing. Oh, there's some stuff around here. But is this the top of the range, or is difficult range to play? I mean, I'd say there's also a 4-hour kind of level at 81, which you've basically respected, right? 41 respected, you came up, you had 2 top wicks here. So similar with the daily, 4 hours is currently in a range. I don't know where it wants to go, right? So for like real positions and like real direction, I'm gonna need like a 4-hour breakout above 83, because you're now tapping into these areas, right? You're showing you're breaking these highs, and you didn't break the lows, right? So at any given point, this could just be like, you know, a price action change. So like you had structure coming up all the way to here, closing below. You started closing below, right? And you didn't break the highs, but now you closed with a higher low, generated a higher high in terms of these, right? Not a closure yet, but the wick kind of broke this area as well. So at any given point, you could just retest and then start going up. But for positions, I'm just going to be looking for breakouts mainly. So on the 30, let's have a look. Honestly, I think I'll just probably look for a breakout above here, 85. You're not even that far away, you're only like 60 pips away. Either 85 or 86, these sorts of areas. Let's have a look to see if 85.26 is a level in the past. 85.26. It's alright. I mean, that could be our advantage point, right? Towards 86 something. Sorry, this is so slow. We don't have enough candles anymore, but I'm looking 85.26 is not bad in terms of a level. Oops, let me get rid of this. This is 10 pips, right? Yeah, that's not bad. Cool, guys. I'm gonna have a buy above here in terms of a closure. In terms of if price just starts ranging here for a long time, then I'll need liquidity to go up. If it just starts breaking now, this next 30-minute, you know, fakes out above, below here and back into the range. Once you get a break above 82, I'm expecting it to fill up to 85 anyways, because you're breaking above, and every time you break above, you fill, right? Here you break above, fill. Here you broke, you respected, filled. Here you didn't break above, you respected, you go down. Filled here, you basically filled up to here, 84, which is like 20 pips. It's filled. So like the buys above 82 are also not bad. If this 30 candle closes like this, and then you're like, it's got no top wick at the moment, but if your next candle comes and does something like, let me annotate. It does something like this, right? Closes above, I would say overall like this. You'll need a couple candles to form, and then probably after that, let's say you got a bearish closure or something, respecting like this level. respecting this level, right? So around here, like something like this. And then you got another candle kind of going up, breaking these highs. I probably want it to break up like this, right? And then once your next candle opens, I'll look for a bottom wick breaking these two wicks, and then the flip of the candle to fill at least to here. And what you'll likely see is something like this. So if it breaks the lows, I won't look for a wick entry, but I'll look for the breakout, which, to be honest, is not bad, right? Like, if we measure that in pips, this to here is 23 pips. And then, but this needs to happen here. And then if we just get a breakout here, I'm just gonna sell. I'm just gonna buy, basically. Because we've grabbed the liquidity, we haven't gone anywhere, so I'm expecting price to go somewhere. How do I get rid of all this? Give me a second, guys. And cool. Oops. Yeah, okay, so currently I've got buys there. I'm going to put buys above here as well, but these are kind of conditional, so, oh, no, wicks. But yeah, just be careful on these buys. So the 15 looks to make some sense, right? This is probably a 15 fake out to come down. A 5's also not bad. Is there a 5 level towards these? Like, it might be above 82.6. 82.6 is not bad. 82.64. You might as well wait for a break above here then. 82.8. 82.8 is not bad. But I would say the first buys are if you're 30 or 15 close above. If you're looking just for a 5 closure, just wait for this. Like, just literally just wait for this. This closure above here, you should be pretty strong to drive up. But cool, sells. Sells are difficult, right? Because any given point, the sells could be liquidity to come and to grab the liquidity to start going back up. But if anything, I would be, yeah, sells are going to be a little bit far away, guys. I'm not going to lie. If you are respecting all of this and then you've tapped into these levels, you want to start coming down. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. You respected. This is a pretty strong level here. Respected. If okay, so this is what I'm having a look at, right? So if price does this, right, you're ranging here, right, and then you get a kind of a buy above, right? Close at 10 pips or whatever, and then it doesn't, and then that kind of breaks these highs, doesn't really go all the way to 91, right? But then comes down to break here, then I can't get anything because it hasn't filled the range up to 91. But if at any given point price does something like this, right, where it kind of comes down, does something like this, you get the buys above, it goes up to here, then you're getting like a break below and then kind of a break of this after creating a top wick, right? I look for the sells below here to come down to fill this range to 76 and then potential sells below 76. So I'll look for sells below here and sells below here once we tap 91. Does that kind of make sense, guys? So when that happens, right, what is the 4 hour going to look like? You're going to have a wick, right? I'm going to be looking for that wick above, but respecting potentially 83 or, you know, these levels here. Once you respect, and potentially on the hourly, you're respecting 85 as well, and you just get a wick here, and then you get a closure below. So let me just draw this in terms of candles so it makes sense for you guys. I feel like the lines are really useful to get an overall like market structure feel, but the wicks, the actual candles, I feel like you guys understand a little bit better. So let us say you get a buy above here, right? You break certain lows. Let's say this is like, yeah, it's the hourly, right? So you've broken some lows and this wick is like a range coming down, right? And then after that, say, actually no, if you get this, right, I'll be looking for this. If this candle taps here and then flips, closes like this, right? what does this look like, right? This looks like a fake out. I'll look for the sells to come down after a top wick. Why? Because you've tapped into this area, you've faked out, which means that you've already filled the range, right? So you're not looking to fill this range again, and you're like somewhat bullish for this time frame. But the confirmation for me is you've already filled the range, number one. You've closed back into this range. This is the hourly chart, right? So this candle, if we break this down onto the 15, right? 15 is going to look like this. You might get a 15. So this candle, the last 15 of this candle probably was something, I don't know, let's just say it's like that. And then you get a closure, which is, oops, you get something like this, right? So 15 number one, first 15 candle, second 15 candle, probably, I don't know, something like this. If it has no top wick, even better, right? Something like that. And then potentially a fake out, right? You started doing this, probably something like this. It's happening to these levels, and then the final candle is a bullish candle, respecting, right? If you get this, I will be looking for some aggressive sells down. Once you break the highs, I'll look for the flip of the candle or break of the previous lows, and then I'll be in a position to come down to retest this. And what is this? This is the zucchini, all right? So you have a range one up here, all right? So you had a range one here, a range one breakout, a celery to come down, and if you take a position below here, you can take that to come down. And this is your hourly chart, right? So this position, I don't know, like how many pips is it? Your range is pretty big, like 50 pips. It's not bad, because like I'm understanding every time you close below here, right? You close below here, fill the range, respect it, fill the range down to like, it's not even down to 76, but I'm just understanding 76 is an area you make a decision at, right? Look at these wicks here, right? So once you tap around 76, I'm out, full probably, because you're still bullish, right? Any given point, this could be liquidity to grab to go up, but this is enough confirmation for me that you don't have enough liquidity to continue pushing past 91. Yeah? Does this make sense to you guys? Let's get some noise in the chat, like, you know, a yes, no, a fuck yes, or whatever. But cool. That's kind of the analysis for tonight, guys. So just to summarize, right? What have we learned today? We have learned that I am looking for current buys above these two levels. Depending on current price and how it opens, you might get a gap. I'm not too sure. It's not going to be the biggest gap, I think, unless there's some news that I just am ignorant about. But once you get closures above here, I'm looking for the buys towards, I would say 85, and if you do break above, I'd look for like your 15-minute ranges above. So like I'd probably be out by 88, right? I'm not too sure if it's going to fill all the way up. It looks like there's a high chance you'll fill up to 91, 2, 3, because that's where your wick is before you had the first rejection. But that's what I'm looking for in general, right? And then after we tap these areas, these two levels now I would say become sells, but I would need that zucchini to be formed, right? And then obviously if you start breaking above 91, if you start breaking above like the 91 on the hourly, on like the 30 probably not, but yeah, if it breaks above on the hourly, and then you get like another 5-minute closure above specific ranges, let's say you get a closure above like 93 on the 5, right? Then cool. What's today's bias on gold? I would say you're pretty, what did you close? Did you close bearish today or bullish? Bullish, right? Yeah, you closed very bullish. I would say it's still no bias for me at the moment, because you've closed bullish, but you're in this range, number one. Number two, you haven't broke out of this range. Number three, you've closed bullish, but respecting your most recent, right? So at any given point, if I expand this a little bit, right? If I just draw some lines, right? You came up, tapped here, came back down, high, low. Cool, this might be us breaking the lows, but you haven't broken these lows, right? This is the low I want to break. If you haven't broken these lows, don't know if you're gonna, and then now you've created a high. So is this just another retest of the highs? Does that make sense? But we'll see it. We'll see it as we continue. Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna open up the Zooms. Get some people asking questions. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks, guys.
Got no questions for today.
No questions. Did you guys take the Don trade today?
Yeah.
Did you hold?
No.
Yeah.
How long did you hold? Did you?
Yeah, I have. But like, I literally like, as soon as it started driving down, the take profit got smacked like in seconds.
Yeah. So I think some people held because they didn't put a TP, and then they just left it, and then it retraced back up, and they're like, "Fuck." So that's why you always set a TP, guys. And the TP where it was, right? We mentioned just now in 1968 is a good level, right? This is the level I've drawn as well. It's a strong level that, typically when you come down, you test. And this is a liquidity grab to go up. This is why I have this bias. But yeah, so it was a good trade. I didn't expect it to hit TP. I think Don and I were like, we're not sure what's going to happen. Like this 30 closed respecting, right? It closed respecting any given point. It could start driving up. I guess after news it just drove down, but yeah.
What news was there? I swear there wasn't any news.
I don't know, but I just saw a massive push, right? What is it? Forex Factory. That's the badger. Today, was there any news? Yeah, 2 p.m.
Unless it was at 10:30 my time. I'm not sure what that is for you. Crude oil, maybe? Was it that?
This was at 4. Sorry, this was at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. was nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess nothing, but that's what I mean. Like, it just kind of pushed. So, I guess that was right. But yeah.
In terms of market structure and looking for sells, you kind of, with what you're drawing, you pretty much don't want like some closures below, say, 1978 before going up, because you would think that's liquidity. You would rather it go up and then come down, because since it didn't break below, then it's more of a chance to go down after it filled that upper range to 85.
Yeah, so why I want that is, when the kind of whole thing with like price trickling up, right? So I want price to like kind of trickle up, because we have residual volume that's in here, right? If we just get price trickling up, you'll get the buys, and then once you tap these areas, I'm expecting price to make another decision, right? Because at this point, which is a strong area for the hourly, the 4 hour, if you reject from here, you'll likely see some rejection to come down. But if you want to continue pushing bullish, you'll grab liquidity, right? And you'll likely get like a fake out above, and then you'll continue driving up, right? So what does that look like? Let's draw it out, all right? Let's say you've already tapped this level, all right? You're coming down at the moment, all right? You've come down, then you've got a closure below, right? You're like, oh shit, okay, it's coming down. But is it, right? Price is so bullish, at any given point, you can get a fake out, right? This is why this bullish candle closure is very, very important, right? If this closes respecting and then it breaks the lows, you're indicating that, cool, price is now, like, it created a high, came down, created a low, respected here, broke the highs, then broke the lows, right? Then I'm expecting this to come down. But if it just fakes out like this, then what's happening is exactly what I drew out here, right? You're coming down, you're grabbing the liquidity, you've broken above. Sure, you can come back and retest, but like there's always a chance for this. But the higher probability is that it's just going to continue going up. And especially if you fake out, right? You usually fill the range after a fake out. So once that happens, you're in drawdown from 85 to 91, which is like, what, 60 pips, 65 pips? That's not what you want, right? So that's why I'm looking for potential like sells. I would say less likely to be under 85. You'll likely see it if it does come down. You'll see like a breakout celery, right? And then coming down. But I'll likely be taking it below like either 82 or yeah, probably 82. Understanding that once you respect it every time you drove down, right? Your next range to fill is 1976. But yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Did you guys take any other trades besides Don's trade?
I had a sell at 85, but I just was thinking that last time we got there, there's a strong rejection, and that I was potentially thinking we needed a lot more liquidity to be able to break that.
Did you say like this 85 or this initial 85?
Yeah,
the second one.
85, yeah, that one.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it looks like it worked out, right? But I would say it was slightly dangerous. Your 30 also closed respecting. I guess your 30 closed respecting here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this massive rejection and then this fake out, sure. Like I know it will fill the range up to 85, which is why I think I got into a buy around these areas, and I closed for like 30 pips, or like 20 something pips, because I was like, okay, yeah, you're gonna come up, right? But then once you tapped here, I guess with this liquidity, I'm expecting it to still push up.
Okay.
But I guess it worked out, right? I would say you're slightly dangerous now. Are you still in or no?
Yeah, my stop loss is like below break even.
Okay, so your stop loss is in profit.
Yeah. But I just didn't. I guess that wick was like a big wick. I think I just misread it, and it was technically enough liquidity potentially. I thought maybe when I placed the trade, I was like, oh, it probably needs to go below there to like be able to break 85. So 85 was a pretty strong resistance level that I had.
Yeah, I think if I was to get into any sales, breaking these lows is fine, but I'd like to break 53, right? If it did that and then it came up, grab liquidity and then start going down, then yeah. Because then for sure this is market structure like coming down, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I guess you can also play the smaller time frames, like for example in these cases. Let's have a look. I mean, you just pushed up your ranging here. And I guess you got like a very aggressive push up, right? I guess this was liquidity to come down. But is this liquidity to grab this liquidity to go up, right? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit confusing. It kind of, after I placed it, I was like, yes, it kind of worked out, but I wasn't as stoked about it because I wasn't as sure about it.
I think like it's worked out fine. So maybe there's a thing to learn from this, right? There might be a trade that exists in this kind of space that we aren't currently making the most of. But did the daily just close? Yeah, it did. Okay, so first thing is top wick. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get any buys, guys. If you came down first, I would say maybe. But if you're 4 hours just pushing up without a bottom wick and you close respecting, it's difficult to get buys. But I'm understanding that still currently, right, what we analyzed just now, the 30, if you get, where was the level? Was it a 15 level? Might have been. Yeah, I think it was like above here. If you get a closure above, like here, yeah, it's likely you're going to fill the range up to 82 or like towards 81.6. And then once that happens, I'm not too sure. But if I wanted to get these buys, I'll need it to come break the daily lows first, like create a bottom wick and then flip back up, which is a little bit, it's quite a lot to ask for currently. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Anybody got any more questions? Player 201, welcome to the streams. Do you have a name I can call you, or? I feel like player 201 every time is not the most ideal. Anybody else have any questions as well? Yeah, that's right. If your mic's not working, don't worry about it.
I did take a sell today.
Yeah.
There was a 12.36. I know there's a bit of a risky one, so I'm a bit more aggressive with the stop loss break even.
12.36. So this candle there. Oh, so once we came up to here, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for that like quick rejection off that level.
Yeah. This is. Again, it's risky, but I understand why you took it, right? Like it makes sense why you took it, because you're respecting this area. You have no bottom wick, so you need a liquidity to drive up anyways. So it's fine, I would say. It's only risky because, like, I guess it's not as risky as I'm like kind of saying it to be. It's actually not bad in terms of a trade because you haven't broken above, right? I would have probably taken the fake out. This fake out, I probably would have taken. And then probably, what did it tap? Would I be break even there? Is this a good enough position? Like sometimes you have to measure, right? Like if your break even is, what is this? It's 13 pips. I probably would have, this was probably the position I would have taken instead of this initial sell here. Just because, you know, I'm understanding you need liquidity to grab liquidity, right? So if this is a higher time frame liquidity grab to come grab liquidity here, then in the smaller time frames, is this the liquidity grab to come down, and you haven't broken out of any ranges or anything. But also you've retested this level multiple times, right? So at any given point you can just break out, which like we did, I guess. But the second time, I guess, like when it fakes out the second time, yeah, sure, I'll probably look to take this. But these times still I wouldn't. Yeah, this was, I guess it's okay. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it was break even in the end, so I'm not really too worried.
Jack, I think Jack took it as well. You got break even. Yeah, I think, yeah, if you'd have to be relatively aggressive with these.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're a player 201, you're low margin, yeah, trying to save your profits. Don't, I mean, yeah, do what you have to do for now, right? And then once you're kind of stable again, you can look for these concepts, right? But are you gonna fill 82 like I just said? You might, because you got this fake out and you haven't broken these lows yet, so I'm still bullish. The buys above here are still okay. That's if you just kind of drive up, and then I'll need a bottom wick though. I'll need a pretty strong bottom wick. You got buys from the bottom of that range, from this range, I guess, or from the bottom of this range. But yeah, cool. Do you think we'll hit 1975 like here? You'll tap 1976, 1975 eventually, just even if you want to make a decision. Like if it breaks above here though, I'm expecting price to drive up to here, and then if it breaks above, then no, it's not going to tap 1975. But if it doesn't break and it respects, and then you're coming down and getting rejections, you might tap 75, and then if you get a breakout, so if this happens, right, you get this fake out, you come up, and then you range and you get a breakout above, but you respect, right? Down, I'll look to take these cells down to 75, and then potential cells below 75. So this to this. But that's only if you kind of start respecting here, you breaking below on the higher time frames. Did you take over stream for Don today, Jack? Yeah, I wasn't on stream, so I don't know. I was at work, man. But I finally caught the runner, I guess. I missed the runner 1st of September, so man, it's so sad. Man, your 2 minutes of fame, that's crazy. Thoughts on this weekly last 2 days, and it's lining up perfect for the nice push. Yeah, I mean, any given point the weekly can flip, right? If the weekly flips, oops, let me remove everything. Yeah, the weekly, if it like breaks these highs, you'll probably tap like, because like last time you kind of hit these areas, right? It depends where the weekly is going to close. If the weekly closes respecting this, tough shit, man. Like, it's going to be difficult. But if the weekly breaks above with the top wick, we might be looking for, like, I'd like the top wick to break this wick, ideally. And then if that happens, we'll look for weekly positions, I guess, like higher time frame moves for it to tap around, like, honestly, I would say like at least 40 to 34, like these sorts of areas here. I'll need this to tap for us to be able to, if you get a breakout above though, I'm expecting you only to tap like 83 almost. And then you're like, ideally down to these areas, like 68, 69. That's if you get a breakout above, right? Breakout above, you grabbed this and then you went all the way up to 2066 with this. Got a breakout above, but you drove from around these areas. So yeah, if we get a breakout above, we'll still look for bottom wicks to go up. Do I even go work? Yeah, I have like a full-time job. Let me get back all the levels. Get rid of this. Yeah, but guys, like, you've grabbed liquidity, you've filled these ranges, right? Higher time frame ranges. Went up, went down, you're now in this range. You haven't done anything. I'd be worried for, you know, if you get a breakout above here. I think generally bullish is okay. But be careful on sells if you're looking for this daily flip to come down or whatever. Like, still pretty bullish. Cool, guys. I don't think, does anybody else have any questions on the Zoom? If not, I'm probably just gonna end it. Player, you've been holding buys around 1985. So I guess you got in around these areas, holding buys. Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, I would hold it until it kind of, like, I don't know where your stop loss is, right? But currently, I think you're okay to potentially come back into to break even. But I don't know if it's gonna go past break even. You're at a pretty strong level of support here and resistance, right? So yeah, just be a little bit careful. Like, I would have your stop loss like the daily flip almost, or like, yeah, below this low. Because if it breaks, I would say maybe like below 1976. If it breaks below 1976, you should be gone. You'll probably fill at least to like 1970. So you don't want to be risking this, right? And then if it comes down here, you get closures below on the higher time frames. Is it then going to go up again? You don't know, right? It's looking like you might be bearish for the short term, but no stop loss. Oof. Good luck, my friend. Yeah, look at this 15, right? You're just pushing up. Well, not very aggressively. It's not a big candle. Yeah, but this is the fake out, right? Fake out. 15 pips. 23. I mean, if anything, if you got into the buy, right? Your stop loss to break even now because you've tapped into this level. Any given point can reject. But yeah, it's probably gonna tap 82. Yeah, no worries, guys. Cool. Probably gonna end it around here. Be sure to check out Wix's stream right after this. He's gonna be trading live, right? So put this analysis into use. You know, look at the markets, look at what's happening, and then justify to yourself, you know, whether or not my analysis is right for you, right? If it makes sense to you, if you agree with the same kind of concepts that I have, and yeah, like, we're all learning, right? So you might find a flaw in the market or a gap in the market that you can exploit. So yeah, just exploit it, right? There's no issue. Not like, I think all strategies work, as Don always says. Like, every single strategy if it makes money, right? And there's somebody who trades it and makes money, then it's a profitable strategy. So cool. Yeah, Jacka will be here tomorrow. I think tomorrow is Thursday night. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, should be. Cool. Alright, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.
See you, bro.
Trade with the stop loss. See you guys. Thanks for joining up.